Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Øystein and I'm trying to become a bookworm, and hopefully I can inspire you to do the same. In this video we're going to talk about this book, The Promise by Damon Galgut. Of course, the winner of this year's Booker Prize. And maybe the last Booker Prize book I'll read for a while. Because now I've read several of these books, and since this book won, I felt that I had to read it. I also got a lot of recommendations from you guys, so I decided that I had to. And do I regret it? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. So what is this book actually about? Well, it's set in South Africa, where we meet a family of 5, where the mother of the family is sick and she's going to die. On her deathbed she says that she wants the servant of the house to get her own place where the servant lives today, and the father of the family promises. And the youngest one of 3 siblings hears this, and she decides that she's going to hold her father to his promise. But the father isn't really going to hold his promise, and so the story begins. You can say then that the remaining family of 4 is not trying to resolve their issues, and I think of this book as a book of human decay from start to end. So the youngest one of the 3 siblings, as depicted on this picture I guess, is around 12 years old when the story begins in the 80s. She holds on to this promise while her family refuses to budge. So the book is divided into 4 parts, whereas each part of the book is named after one of the characters in the book. We jump from the 80s until 2018 I think, and for each part we follow that one character, or all the things surrounding that character, I guess, and one significant thing that happened in South Africa at that time. So that's a strong connection between historical things that happened and the characters in the book. The rest of the video will be me talking about what I thought of the book, so if you're not interested now and want to read the book first, do that and then come back. Just remember to subscribe so you remember where the channel is, and you'll be safe. I'll start off with something small, and that is that I really dislike it not having any chapters. For a guy who sometimes forces himself to read books, you have to have chapters, so there's a small goal to reach, something to look forward to. It might sound a bit sad, but it's the truth, and chapters really is a way of motivating myself to continue reading, and reading more than I actually thought I would, because there's not so much time left to next chapter, for example. But enough about that. I really enjoyed the start of the book, even though it was kind of confusing because there were so many people and so many nicknames, but I got the hang of it and I really enjoyed it. Then the book just slowed down. That was very annoying. I really disliked many of the characters in the book from the start, and that's the point. The elder siblings are quite annoying, self-obsessed or spoiled, or any of those bad words you can say, because the family is kind of rich and has servants and the life is good for them, and they treat people like garbage. But the youngest one seems really good-hearted in the start, and I had really high hopes that she was going to be a maniac or just going to have this very big character thing about her that was going to be revealed later. I was kind of disappointed. I had no expectations before I started this YouTube channel, but after people recommended me this book so much, I got my hopes up. I do suspect that a lot of things in the book I did not get, because there was some slang language and there was a lot of references to big significant things in South African history, which I do not know too much about or much about. I think the plot of the book has really a lot of things going for it. She is a young girl that no one is really caring about now that her mother is dead, and she has found this thing in her life that isn't right, and she wants to do it right. From there on out, nothing really happened with that plot. We hear these stories about all these characters one at a time. There's nothing driving the story forward. It's just small stories about the people, and we jump in time and people get old and people don't get happier. They're all just sad and evil. And then nothing.
I just don't get it.
Of course, many things can fly over my head in reference to different things, but there were a lot of conversations in the book where I did not understand who they were talking about, and I think that's the point, but that doesn't give me anything. So a lot of times I didn't really know which character that articulated a problem or a solution or a question. It was just there, up there somewhere. I find myself being more negative now than I thought I would be, because I didn't dislike the book that much. It's just that when you read the book and you really don't fully understand why there are so many words and why things are written about, and some people in the book are mentioned but you really don't know who they are, and you spend your time looking for them earlier in the book but you can't find any evidence of them appearing earlier, and then someone speaks and you don't know who has an opinion. Maybe I read this book at a bad time, I don't know. One thing I really enjoyed was that it's set in South Africa, and South Africa is a country I do not know anything about. And so when they tie the characters' events up to things that have actually happened in South Africa and brings in the historical aspect of things, I really enjoyed it. And it gave me the lust for reading more about South Africa and South African authors. So that's a big plus. Also, I was very intrigued from the get-go, and I thought that Amor, which is the girl's name, would have a much more bigger and more impactful role in the book than she had. So, great start, lousy in between. Don't know how I feel about the ending. I should also say that sometimes the points the book tries to make regarding the history of South Africa is too emphasized. When I did not really get things, I did not really get things, but when I got them, they were too in my face, sort of. To conclude, I did not have any big emotions when I read this book. I wasn't sad, I wasn't happy, I wasn't angry, I wasn't anything, I was bored. Maybe it's my Christmas apathy that has led me down this route. Maybe it's not a good idea to try to become a bookworm and then read books that you feel that you have to read. Because when I started the project of reading the Booker Prize books, this wasn't on my list for books that I wanted to read. So maybe I should just have followed my instincts. But then again, if you always follow your instincts, you might not read the book that you really enjoy. I'm very unsure about this strategy right now, since I did not enjoy this book. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads right after I finished it, and now it seems like a 2-star. I don't know if I disliked it that much. We'll see. I've started the process of changing some stars from this year's reads on Goodreads, so if you want to follow me on Goodreads, I have a link down in the description here if you want to see what I read at times. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like the content of my channel. If you do, please subscribe. And if you have any opinions about this book or can explain to me why this book is great, please comment below, because I really want to know. And I really also want to know who Bob is, if anyone has the answer to that. And I'll see you next time. Bye!